Good morning from Thalkirchen. This is a city right outside of Munich, and I am waiting for the U-Bahn number 3 that is going towards Maasacht, which is the last destination. I am going into Marienplatz, to the old town area, doing a full tour today. It was super easy, bus stop right outside of the campground, which is where I'm at, the Thalkirchen campground. There's a full day tag, $9.20, and what a bargain that was, because each of these train rides would have cost me $3.90, and then the bus itself would have been $1.90 a piece. So $9.20 for the full day, even if I'm only taking four transportations. So we are going on our last adventure. It's going to be very exciting. This is what the trains look like. Pretty standard. And just like that, Sendlinger tour. That's it. Super, super easy. I mean, once you understand the concept, of course. Ooh, no escalator, just stairs. Oh, isn't that interesting? They don't actually run all the time. There's like a sensor that sees when people are approaching, and then it starts up. That's smart. Okay, and then they have signs, super easy to follow. Since I know I'm going towards Marienplatz, I am following the signs. It says straight ahead, so straight ahead we go. And that's it. Okay, so came out the stairs there. I can see the gate up there, or the tour, which is also a gate area, and so I know the direction I'm heading in. Sendlinger tour. Gate into the city. This used to be one of the main gates coming into the Munich area, and this is at the beginning of the inner ring, I guess. I'm calling it that, but that's not its official name. Anyway, welcome to Munich. Cute little pedestrian zone. We are off to the Assam Brothers Church. Well, the Assam Kirch, which is 30 feet wide, over the top, rococo. These guys are so famous. They have a passageway named after them. They also did St. Anne's interior, and I remember going to see this with Steve, and it was truly one of the most incredible interiors I've ever seen. So, I'm gonna put this away till we get there. Wow, this is under construction completely, but they're having mass right now, so I can't go in until later. And so I'm obviously not going to interrupt that. So, well, for the first one. But anyway, that's what the outside should look like without all the scaffolding. And that is the name that I am not able to pronounce. All right, well, off we go. Look straight ahead. Oh my God, that's Marienplatz. That's the glockenspiel. And every, at 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock, they do the full story of Munich. It's like 15 minutes long, where they've got a joust, and they've got, oh, what else goes on? A war that went on. So I think I'm going to make a beeline for that, because it is about 11:15, and I'm hoping to hit that one. Now, here's an interesting fact about it. The pieces that come around the glockenspiel to tell the story look really small because they're so high up, but they're actually almost life-size. So real humans are in there working the system and behind the scenes. It's not an automated thing. So should be an interesting experience. Well, there she is. That is such a magnificent building. Wow. the new town hall with its glockenspiel. Built after the old town hall became too small to accommodate everyone. These little guys are actually boy monks. That's where Munich gets its name, München monk. And the boy represents fighting these 4 demons. And just as an FYI, had I gone one stop further, this is where it would have let me out. So, terribly convenient. This is the fish fountain. And this is the Ratskeller. Very famous little bar there. Look at that. Anyway. It is open. And this is what it looks like in here. Well, without meaning to, I'm already at the Victualin market. Victuals. It's food market. They have 100 stalls here permanently, and this is where I got the most fabulous spices. When I was last here with Steve in 2017, I made those spices last as long as I could. So I'm hoping I can find them again, but it is a Monday and it does appear that a lot of shops are closed. But we're gonna look around. Last time we were here, Steve and I had a delightful lunch in the beer garden of brats and beer, of course, because that's what you get when you're here. And here it is, the beer garden. Now here's a little tidbit for you. If it has a tablecloth on it, that means they will come and take your order. If it does not have a tablecloth, then it is self-serve where you go up to there and get your own. See, way over there, tables with no cloths on them. So, if you're ever in the area and you're wanting to eat here, now you know. It's a cute little place though, isn't it? Here is the famous maypole. All the way up. Now, this was done every May 1st. They would tie ribbons around it and they would dance, and it was to invite fertility and prosperity. And they also used to hang prizes like the meats and fun stuff from that top ring. And if you could climb the maypole barefoot, you could have the treats at the end of it. Well, I am sad to say that all of the shops here on the periphery of this beer garden are closed, like straight up closed. I have no idea when they open, because of course I can't read German. So, we're headed back to St. Peter's. Well, they were in the middle of a mass in St. Peter's, and I was super uncomfortable going in there and filming anything. So, yeah, I got like 2 seconds worth. Well, anyway, up that way is Hofbräuhaus, but I'm going to go to those onion-domed towers, which is the, I'm going to mispronounce it, Freuenkirch, which is indeed the oldest and largest church here in Munich. You can see it coming into view there. Originally built, started in the 1100s. The mystery has been solved. This is actually a holiday. It's Whit Sunday. I should have come in yesterday, but I was thinking, oh, it's Sunday, everything's closed. But a few tourist shops are open, or like the big international stores. But for the most part, yeah, everything's closed. That sums up my trip right there. And I have to say, I had an instinct, because Mondays are often holidays, and I did not get my ticket for Tuesday, tomorrow, thinking, yeah, if this is a holiday, they're going to be closed to return my RV. So anyway, this particular section is called the shopping, and it is pedestrian only. And that Heimer, H-I-R-M-E-R, it's a very famous department store. And I'm not going to get to see inside that. Oh well. But, dun, 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 dun. There is the largest, oldest church in Munich. Okay, we're gonna go in this one now. Oh, I'm glad there's no service. Holy Toledo! You are never gonna get the scope of this, but my goodness, that's like 3-4 stories high. Wow. And that's a very large cross in the center there. Well, I have found myself at the Residenz. You're actually looking at the theater on this side. And this glorious edifice with tour group included. And then the Residenz is this whole complex. Now this was built by the, I'm going to say it wrong, Wittelsbach family, who basically ruled Munich from the 1100s up to 1919, right after World War I. And this was a palace that they built for themselves in order to keep themselves safe. And they had a moat around it, and because there was a citizens' uprising, and then they decided to build themselves a little palace out here, which backed up to the forest at the time. I know. Terribly important information. Wow. So this is one of the courtyards. Anyway, we'll go find the ticket office. At last, we have found it. This is the courtyard leading up to where you purchase tickets. Entry hall that everybody comes through before entering the museum. Got to get tickets. Well, I might as well record this while I'm standing here, since there is quite a line. So this is the very fancy china that they've got going on here. So, I'm gonna go get a ticket now. Oh, this reminds me of the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles. But I mean, seriously. That's amazing. I remember this from way back when, 7 years ago, because it's all made out of shells. We were so fascinated by it. Well, Steve especially. Let me get close. See? Amazing. Oh, that's incredible. All right, I've gone the wrong way. Wow. This is the Hall of Genealogy. Lots of pictures of lots of dead people. That's very cool. Huh. Very gilded. Okay, so it was just that gilded hall, and then the little treasury room, and now we are into this. So I almost went the right way, but not quite. Wow. Look at those frescoes. Look at this. We must have stood here for 20 minutes just looking at this hall. This was Steve's favorite room in the residence. That's pretty cool. Wow. This is called the Antiquarium. And it's named so because of all of the statues and busts that are in this hall. That is an amazing collection. So, this is a very, very cool room. Anyway, that was the Antiquarium. And now we are in the Black Hall, named for these portals that surround the room. 4 of them. And then this ceiling. Oh, I love their trompe l'oeil. So this is the yellow staircase, built as an impressive entrance to the Bavarian king's private apartments. Well, here's the staircase from the top. Very impressive. Look how far down those rooms go. This is just grandeur. And I'm sure the Nymphenburg Palace is even more so. In fact, that's it. That's the Nymphenburg Palace. Here's a bed. A lot of stitching on there. That's pretty cool. Look at those tapestries. That's a beautiful piece. And now at the end of that corridor of rooms, we have the other half of the Black Hall. Anyway, it's just a big circle that goes around. But I thought I would show these portals. Okay, it's another wing, another series of rooms, and a whole bunch of more furniture, which are lovely. Charlotte, this is the Charlotte wing. I don't know if that's Queen Charlotte, but pretty chairs. This room, nice heater, little bed, and the music room. Look at those harps. Wow, look at that harpsichord. That's interesting. And another room. Ladies could sit in and be pretty, like her. Look, more tapestries. But I mean, look at that detail work. And then you pull back to this whole scene going on, telling a story. Look at all that inlay work. So incredible. southern antechamber. But I mean, every single room is just filled with beautiful artwork. Just, I mean, truly, truly museum. Not just let's go look at a palace, but let's look at this incredible artwork. The tapestry, the chair. Wow. So this is the room of council, derived from this portrait on the ceiling, giving counsel. Wow. I mean, look at this staircase. Wow. That is beautiful. Just, this is amazing. And then you walk in here. This is the Emperor's Hall. There's some information if you care. 1612 and 1616. Oh. Wow. I mean, check out that ceiling. Everywhere you look, there's a story being told. And then you walk right next door. And it's just as beautiful. Wow. And just in case you need a dose of reality, this is what it takes. Look at that scaffolding to get up there to restore these paintings. Or just clean them off in the first place. And then we go into another fantastic room. Wow. Oh, the banquet hall. Wow, so this must be a chapel. So this is called the ornate chapel. I wonder where it gets its name. It's very, very tiny, but very ornate. I gotta get away from the window so you can see. This is all inlaid. Like, that's inlaid all across this entire thing. And then you get up to the ceiling and it's just, glorious. I can't quite see up into that cupola, but wow. I mean, wow. The throne room. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. All right, you can tell I'm getting punchy. I'm pretty sure this is the king's chamber, because if it's not, that's a lot of gold to be in a room for somebody else. There it is. Hofbräuhaus, most famous beer garden pub in Germany, in Munich at least. And then show you the Hofbräuhaus. Here we go. Anyway, this is the Hofbräuhaus. And yeah, people do come and just carve. It was so funny. Steve carving that little sign to Kaylin on her birthday. And they have a band, an Oompa Loompa band. Sometimes plays other things. But that's what it looks like in here. Beer was pretty good. I remember getting a very small one. Steve got a very large one, because that's what you do. And anyway, I'm obviously not going to drink. So, but there it is. That's my farewell tour. And this was actually the last stop on the tour of Munich. So, guess I'm out.